8,
9,
10.
Yizzo!
Okay.
Okay. I've noticed, and I talked to Monty, the editor, our editor, that we've been going into the red. So let's move our mics back.
Screaming at everyone.
It's just going into the red. I think that you can move yours down. It's more powerful than you think. You haven't done it though.
I am going to. I didn't push it back further enough.
Yeah, put your see where mine is. Let it be. Yeah, we're going into the red. Hello.
Hi. How's everything?
Ciao. It's better now. You know me. I'll fucking say it. Me and Shati just had a tiff. A little bit of a tiff over text and scheduling, and we got into like a mini rift, and it was upsetting.
If I can fight with you, then it's real, because
no, I don't want to fight with you. I don't like that. That upset me very much, if I'm being completely honest.
Yes, did I?
We literally just said okay, and now we're recording. So if you feel an energy,
we did not say okay.
No, like after we talked for about 10 minutes, we got on all tense and tight. I think we should take a collective breath and let it go. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, ready?
I would like the listeners to do this with us as well. So let's do one breath. Listeners, come on. Shout out to breath work.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It helped calm my nervous system. Anyway, how are you? How was the first day of school?
Today was my first day of school at CCP, Community College of Philadelphia, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 businesses. It was very long. It started at 7:30. It ended at 6:30. But the program is broken down into modules. So you focus every week on a different, again, business pillar, if you will, or focus, if you will. And, today was like orientation. Everybody's getting to know each other. And my greatest takeaway from today was the power of diversity. I know that sounds so corny, but it made me think. It was a room full of different ages, different genders, different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds. Some businesses had a revenue of 3 million and 50 employees. Some had, 150,000.
These are the guest speakers?
No, these are the different. So it's a collection of different businesses, 35 businesses, and the owners of the businesses. So they all come together and they take these classes together, and it's meant to be a support group. So it's like peer learning as you're being as your classes are facilitated by different, experts of marketing or reading your financial reports, et cetera, et cetera. But again, such a diverse group of people, and how powerful that is, and how much knowledge and perspectives are available to you. And it made me reflect on my friend group and how so many of my friends are the same age. So many of us are like in the kind of, well, you got rich, fancy friends. So, but a lot of my friends are in the same, actually, no, some of my friends make a lot of fucking money. And I was like, I really need a South Asian friend. Mm-hmm. I need an Asian friend. I need this old tender white guy. I was like, yo, I fuck with you deeply. Like Augie, the Latino, Augie, the Latino pizza owner. I was just like, oh wow, this is so refreshing. And also just like biology loves diversity for a reason. So I was like, I gotta get me some friends and like potentially have dinner, because eventually we're all gonna.
Rosario always said once to me, and it slapped me in my face. I think I said it on here once, that he said you're only diverse as the dinner table around you.
For real.
And I was like, "Ooh, I can't stand myself. I'm a racist. Got all the same
I mean, shout out to
motherfuckers."
black women, but also like, I don't need no more black women friends.
I know.
That
Get
much.
away from me. I mean, and there are diverse types of black women, but it does bother me that, you know, I've had the privilege of being around him and some of his friends, and God, what an eclectic, interesting, dynamic group of people.
It's rich.
It's
the
rich.
Conversations are rich. The wisdom is rich, especially the age. Especially the ages. I was like, oh, I want an old man friend.
There's through lines though within the black people there. They catch eyes, of course, but it's interesting. But yeah, there's so much. Listen, that is a goal of mine as well. I'll shut up, but definitely.
What's really interesting was I was attacked by a ghost while sleeping this week as well. So have I talked to you about the Puerto Rican ghost in my house before? Have I talked about this on a podcast?
You haven't, but there's diversity.
So when I first moved into this apartment complex has 4 apartments in it, including mine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And when I first moved into the apartment, my sleep would be interrupted. I would feel energy at the door. I would feel like I would just jolt up awake. And for a long time, I was doubting myself, and I was like, no, like I could feel something energetically in my space. And for whatever reason, the energy of an older, shuffling Puerto Rican man came to me, and he was annoying more. I didn't see the image, but this is my energy that I get from him. He wasn't mean or malicious, but just kind of like longing and pulling it, like annoying. So eventually, I saged and I just spoke to whatever the energy was, like, you got to get out. You're not wanted here. Like, go.
That is so mean. Somebody wants affection from you.
No, not while I'm sleeping. Not me, Antonio. Not today. I can't do it.
Don't be racist.
So that hadn't happened for a really long time. And so a couple days ago, I just been obviously very emotional. Internet, you've received that. Contrary to popular discourse, I'm actually very sensitive, but I've been feeling just really sensitive. And last couple days, I've just been sad and feeling really open. And I went to sleep, and I felt it was sleep paralysis, which I've experienced before in my grandmom's house when I was younger, where I actually couldn't move. I felt pinned, and my mind is conscious, but my body cannot move. And it's an actual, me trying to regain control over my body. That's happened before. And I could feel it slowly happening to me in my bed, but I felt the energy on my neck. And I immediately...
That choke you've wanted.
It was on my neck. It wasn't Antonio. It was a different kind. She said that choke you wanted.
No. It was.
He was trying to,
He was trying to give you what you've been calling in. You've been calling in a little choke. Have you not been?
No.
You didn't even put that together.
What I wanted. It was not what I wanted.
Damn. Okay.
And although I was sleeping, I gained awareness in my sleep that this was happening, and I immediately was like, get off me. And I got up angry, more than scared. I got up really angry. I got saged, and I did the same thing. Like, you got to go. I was like, in the name of Jesus. I was chanting. I was chanting Hare Krishna.
I would love to see you
not playing
say something
around.
in the name of Jesus.
I did.
I don't think I've ever.
I was calling on all of the energy, because I was like, no, not today. You have to leave. And the lesbians, the fighting lesbians, are no longer with us in this apartment complex.
Girl.
No, they didn't. Not girl.
I was like, oh my God.
They did not die, but they are no longer in this. Not to be telling all the business, but they ain't here no more. And so they've been cleaning out their apartments. Oh. And I don't know what they released. I don't know what it is. I got a lot of weird energy in this apartment, but I'm not surprised, and I'm proud of myself, because most of the time I'll be scared. But I was like, no, get out of here. You're not wanted. Went in JoJo's room. She was just staring at me, rolled her eyes, and turned over. Y'all.
Why are they not wanted, though? Like, what if you welcome the energy What if they
Rashid
had
said
something
the
to show
same
you?
thing. I'm not there yet, and like me communing in that way. I don't like to be pinned down in my sleep. I don't like to have that paralysis. The Puerto Rican man wouldn't do that. He was just kind of like, hey, hey, like he would just wake me up. But this was a different kind.
I love that we're talking about ghosts right now, and you're talking about them as
I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. I really do believe in these ghosts.
This is a very Shanti update, and I'm here for it. Wow.
How are you?
I'm fine. Busy week this week. MLK Day happened. I recorded not one, but 2 episodes with See the Thing Is podcast. Shout out to Bridget and Mandy. The first one is out, and it was a really good, I think it was probably one of the best episodes that we've done together. It was like thought-provoking. And then we had a little bit of fun around poking fun at Meek Mill. But a lot of the conversation was really great. I'd love to see the feedback that Mandy got because people are so unfair to her. And they were just like, Mandy, you really showed up in this conversation. You really showed up here or whatever. Like, oh, Mandy. So that really made me happy. But it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. And then a couple things. I don't even know if I want to say this because I don't want it to seem shady. And I don't know if these people listen. I don't think they do.
Uh-oh.
What you think I should do, girl? You know me. I said I was going to shut up. But I can't help myself. No.
I feel like it's very obvious if you know who. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna say that the second one. But have you ever been in a situation where I've found that I've been really trying to carve out time for myself and show up for others as best as I can. I've been failing at that. A lot of my friends have expressed frustration with me around my availability, and I don't really know what to say. And I'm at this place where I'm just like, wow, just because I'm free doesn't mean I'm available. And that's really hard to say to folks who are very used to you being available all the time. And like, you'll drop anything and you show up and you're there and you'll sacrifice sleep and you'll this and you're that. And I just can't do that anymore. But another thing that I'm realizing as I try to do my best in navigating, showing up for myself and doing nice things with my friends is that some of my friends, as you said, make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I don't. And can't, I mean, I don't make a little bit, but I'm making regular people money, you know? I'm making like, okay, I live by myself, I have a car, and I can sustain myself. But also, like, I'm not balling out. Shout out to my Altima. It is a luxury vehicle in my mind. But I'm going out and eating with these folks, and they're going to places or recommending places that are $40, $50 a plate, sometimes for the smallest of plates, where I'm starving afterwards. And they are throwing back drinks. I'm not drinking readily right now. I might have like one drink a week if I go out, but I'm that person now that when I go out, I'm not going to have a drink. One, because it's too goddamn expensive, and 2, because I just don't need alcohol that much in my system, especially since I'm trying to get up earlier. But when the bill comes and I done had the cheapest thing on the menu, the chicken, and no drinks, and we just throwing the cars down, I'm baffled. I said, this chicken cost me $120.
No, you got to say something. I have to be considerate of that.
But when you have friends who just have a lot of money, they don't think like that. They're just like, oh yeah, we all look out for each other. I will say that some of them often will just pick up the check. They just pick it up, and that makes me feel like poor people. So I don't necessarily want that, and that's not up to them. But I do have this question around, like, how do you bridge that conversation? Because I'm getting to the point where I'm like, well,
you've never brought it up. This is the first time. They don't.
I also have a friend, like if I go out with friends and they have a significant other, and a couple of them will never, and shout out to them, they're great women. They will never leave a restaurant that we're at without bringing something home to their significant other. But that goes on the check. No. And I'd be like, I'm splitting Bay's meal too. Wait a minute. And he had 3-course meal now. How does that work? I don't know
You
what
have
to
to
say,
speak
and I
up.
don't
You
want
have
to
to
be
speak
that
up. No, it's
person.
not that person. It's like I can't actually afford this. I
And
want to go out with you,
I
but I
think my
can't
fear
afford this
around
yet.
that is
Say that.
that yet. I think my fear around that is then I just not going to get the invite. I think my one
What
friend,
kind of hell friends of them that are like Antoinette doesn't want to pay extra. She wants to pay like what?
but you
No,
know
they
how
wouldn't
it
do
is. You
that.
used to work in the service industry where I used to hate, and that's really if everybody's getting the same amount of stuff. Like I used to hate seeing people tally up how much each other, like when you and I go out to eat, we just throw the things in the middle. But like,
Because we're sharing everything and I'm not ordering
oh,
extra food for anybody.
yeah.
Are you sharing the food with these people?
No.
Antoinette, that I think that requires a
Or if
hard
we do share the
conversation.
food, like I have one friend, and I'll shut up, but I have one friend who will order a ton of stuff, like just go ham on the menu. She's like, "Oh, I want to taste this, and this," and she's like, "We'll share everything." And I'm just like, "Whoa, I wouldn't order all that. We don't need it. This is expensive," and it gets awkward.
I don't know. You gotta ask the budget. I don't know.
The
I don't know.
budgetista.
Yeah, you gotta ask somebody. But in my opinion, I would preface it by saying, "Hey, y'all, I'm on a budget. The next time we go out, y'all don't call me cheap, but I'm saving up for a house. I'm saving up
That's
for
such a good idea, and I am.
a
That's
platinum
real.
dildo, so I cannot."
Oh,
Nice,
we'll talk
sorry.
about that in another podcast. But okay, that's a good idea. I'll try
Do
that.
you have a
But
platinum dildo?
a platinum one? No. What?
What
I
about
thought you said a
the
black
people
one.
are really wanting to know about your writing skill development. Quite a few
I've
people have
decided not to tell
commented.
my business anymore. I ain't tell you. Out of the question.
This is gonna change
I'm not telling
engagement.
that anymore. But we're doing well. We are doing well over here. I think I've got it back. I'll just leave it at that. I think I'm back, baby.
No, I know that's
I
right.
got my rhythm back. My back is arched.
Oh,
It's coming down as it should. I'm doing well.
that's a beautiful, beautiful image. If you would like to see our beautiful images, then you can. If you're listening to this on audio, we have a visual component available as well on Patreon. Go check us out, www.patreon.com/aroundthewaycurls, and you can see our tiered subscription offerings. If you can't afford to support us through Patreon, you still have work that you can do to support us. You can rate, subscribe, and share our work. You can rate on Spotify as well as Apple. Apple seems to be far more effective. So make sure that you rate, leave a comment, a review, tell us how we're doing, how we're not doing. But be a part of the community and engage with us because we really would appreciate it.
Amen. Hot
Another
shit.
thing that I appreciate, my segues,
That was good.
are
I messed you up.
listening to other people's playlists. I love to when people share their playlists on Instagram. I will, even if they have no links, I will go and search them out and find what their playlist is. I love
You never
to
listened
learn.
to my playlist.
I have listened to your playlist before. Your R&B playlists.
That's
your
a really
Jay-Z
good one.
playlists. You
You
have
did?
made extensive
You listened
playlists.
to my Michael Jackson one?
Your Michael Jackson with
did?
anger, with a tight fist,
Because
like
he
Arthur
only
the
had
Anteater.
45 of them joints.
Jay-Z
Stand by it.
was talking his shit.
Jay-Z has 120. Anyway.
But my Project P, she be listening too. Shout out to Patrice. Patrice Worthy is her Spotify. And she has really great playlists. One in particular is called Existentialism. If you know how to spell that and search for it, good for you. And I'm curious to know and want y'all to send me your playlist, especially for February. I don't want to hear any Black empowerment playlists, but I would like to hear love playlists. So please send them to me.
Did you see the playlist that I think what is it? OK Player posted.
Oh my God, the Harry Coochie playlist.
Harry Coochie playlist.
It wasn't them. It was like R&B. It was something R&B.
That shit was good though. Did you listen to it?
Shit was banging. I was like, these are my jams. I said, Bilal, he can get this Harry Coochie any day. Oh my God.
I thought about you right away. I said, oh, Harry Coochie playlist.
I'm gonna let y'all know that I am working on getting I've never had a waxing. While Antoinette withdraws from telling her business, I will move forward because we gotta stay provocative. I've never got a waxing. Shame. And I was like, you're grown. I am 36 years old and I have never had a woman for hire to tear hair off of my vagina.
It's not what it's. I've only done it twice.
Oh.
It was like, no.
Oh, for real?
And I never got a Brazilian ever because the bikini one hurt so bad that I said, y'all can keep this. What I will say is that shout out to Crystal from the Read. She found out that I was using. Do I want to say this? Oh God. You know the joints that you get from the hair store that the guys, what is it? The T joint. It's like they line up their hair with it. It's like a serious
razor,
but it's like an electric. What is it called?
What is that called?
It's called I think it's a T. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the thing that is in the barbershop that I was using that vaginally, and she was so upset. She was so upset by it. She said, girl, and I said, sometimes I cut myself. There's little paper cuts, but it is what it is. And she said, Antoinette, they make them like they make specific ones for your vagina. I had no idea. The next day, maybe 2 days later, I get a package from Amazon, and it is the one she recommended, and I have it to this day. It is wonderful.
If you cut to me.
You've seen it. It hangs up in my shower in a little
lines. I want the clean lines.
So you want no hair at all?
Yeah,
this gets it down like dumb low. Like it's like no hair.
Okay. Not you. Yeah, they ain't get my money. That's right. Fuck these niggas.
I think that you should
dinners and paying these women to remove hair off of our genitalia.
No, well, I do think you should try the wax. You might love it. Some people have done it and they're like, "Oh, this feels great. I like the way."
I want a Brazilian just to
say. Oh, you would go straight to Brazilian, would you?
Yeah, just have the labia just out there, unprotected.
Try like the sugar wax thing. Apparently, that doesn't hurt as bad. I don't believe it, but try it. I would like to go with you.
I think we should make that.
I won't do it, but
let's do it. Oh, you're not? I think you should.
I've done it and it's awful. I started cracking up, laughing, crying because I was like, "This is crazy. Why would I do this to myself?" And when I tell you, it grew back within like 3 days.
Wow, this is not.
I'm Italian, honey.
That is.
I am Italian.
Girl.
I shave my legs every day.
Yeah, you do share that. I'm not a very hairy person, but
I shave my legs every day. That's a shame.
Now, MLK Day was last week. We did not
mention
it at all. We didn't mention it. Shame on us. We apologize. But on MLK Day, I was listening to NPR, and they had a podcast called Reveal. And this particular episode, I can't vouch for the podcast in its entirety, but this episode was about a photographer, Ernest Withers. He was responsible for capturing some really pivotal moments during the civil rights movement. And he died with a sea of people honoring him. So he had this legacy of being this down-ass nigga. Girl, don't you know he was an informant for the FBI?
Oh, my God. It'd be your own people.
So they go into his story and how did he really portray the people? And they interview the folks that he was working with, the black folks all the activists that he was working with, and they have some really interesting responses to this question. The episode is called, oh Lord, where is it?
Never mind. It's okay. Everything's fine.
No, this is very important.
I'll Google it. Keep talking.
This your turn. The podcast is revealed.
The double life of a civil rights icon.
The double life, Mr. Ernest Withers, y'all. It is.
Wow.
It is juicy. It is really compelling, and it is duality at its. Again, holding those two things at once.
Oh wait, no, that was an article. Wait,
oh, okay.
I don't know what the name of the podcast was. It's a 3-minute listen? No, I don't know.
I'll find it.
All right, Shanti will find it.
What's your hot
shit? My hot shit is... have you seen Intergalactic on Netflix? I'm late.
No, ma'am.
It's like a cartoon slash... It's a cartoon, but it's a movie. And it's... Kid Cudi is obviously behind it because it's all his music. And the main character, I think, is him.
For real?
It is so good. I loved it. It's a love story. It's like it's not Love Jones, but it's like a young person's kind of Love Jones. And it's not... I was into the story. Like, I wanted to know what happened with these characters. And yes, it is absolutely a cartoon.
Is it a series or just like
It's a movie.
Oh.
It's a movie, and I highly recommend it. They
even
are intimate. No, she can't.
Oh,
they're like, it's adults. They're getting high. They're cussing. There's like a whole thing. But it's very interesting. Like, he's a artist, and she's also an artist. She's a photographer. They're next door neighbors, and you just see them kind of navigate. Should we date? We do live next door to each other. You see her homegirl, and she's like navigating her own fear around it. He disappoints her with an act. Like, it's a whole thing.
Oh, is it Love Jones?
It's not. I know it was giving Love Jones because of the photographer artist vibe, and he's also like a cartoonist / writer. So it's kind of. It's like, is this Love Jones? But it was cute. I wasn't mad at it. I was high when I watched it, but I think I would have still liked it.
Shit was busting then.
It was, I highly recommend it. Also, I watched the other day, trying to motivate myself. I watched The Climb on HBO. Have you seen this?
With Momoa,
Well, Momoa's not in it much, so don't disappoint. He's not even in the first episode, really, at all. He just like comes on and talks about what climbing, and we're talking about like rock climbing, and all different forms of it, what it does for you. And you watch these people like overcome their shit, and it's all like metaphors for life. But it's also like amazing to watch these people tackle these insane boulders, and it's terrifying, and it's really riveting because you don't know what's going to happen, and they score it so well. Yes, like your heart is pounding. Where you're like, oh my God, is he going to get to the top? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You think he's going to fall, and then he makes it. And you're like, yes. So you're so into it. But for some reason.
Is it a competition or just like
it's a competition. Oh. It is a competition. But it's quite good.
I saw that.
Did you see an episode?
I didn't watch
an episode. Saw it available?
I just saw that it was available.
It's quite good. And I think that you specifically would like it, because I feel like you have that thing around surfing and how you want to like conquer surfing. And to me, this is kind of in the same family as that, because I don't think you want to surf just to be on the water. I think there's a lot of other things, that you would like to conquer in the surfing. Mm-hmm. And so if y'all are looking for a little motivation or whatever, I would highly recommend The Climb. And Jason Momoa fine ass is on there talking his shit sometimes, just being handsome for no reason.
Hawaiian.
Oh my God, that man.
He is. And you know what? What's her name? Lisa Bonet was like, you trying to climb this social ladder of Hollywood with your mainstream vaccinated ass. Got to go.
He ain't vaccinated. He even climbs with his kids. It's just lovely. Oh, Jason.
Just to circle back, what episode is The Double Life of a Civil Rights Icon, and that is with the Reveal podcast. This is not a paid endorsement.
Okay. All right, let's take a break. And Shanti, sing to us, and I'll write down the time.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boop. I don't know what just happened. I tried to type it and it clicked somewhere else. 29. See that? You see that doing it? 2940. Why won't it let me type in the thing? Oh, because I'm. Oh no, it's working now. Weird. All right. Did you see the other thing that they banned? I didn't get a chance to research it, but what is his name? That devil in Florida, the governor. What's his name? He gonna run for president and probably gonna get it.
He banned what? It was just happened or it happened today?
African American Studies in K through 12th grade. He was like, what? He literally has a campaign around anti-woke culture. Ron DeSantis. He's like, nah, not here. I need to research though if it's all African American studies. I don't think that it's Black history. I think there was an advanced placement African American studies course that was being offered for college credit that he banned because he said that it wasn't it didn't do anything for academics. But I need to do more research before we get into it.
And it passed. Like this is.
Oh, he just banned it. It's not a passing kind of thing. I think people can sue to probably get it in the courts. But
and a university, or this is public schools or universities?
Believe it's not a university. It's K through 12.
Oh, K through 12. Wow.
So I think
I don't know how that's possible. That's fucked up. God help us.
I need to look that up though. Anyway.
And we are back with politics as usual. Something I think is interesting to keep our eyes on. The Seattle School District is suing many social media, or all rather, social media leaders such as Meta, Google, Snapchat, and TikTok in an attempt to hold the companies responsible for the intentional misuse of their power by exploiting the psychology and neurophysiology of their users into spending more and more time on their platforms. This is actually being taken to court. Many of the social media platforms are defending themselves, saying that, we've been really doing our best to safeguard harmful, or to, ban and silence harmful content around suicide and bullying and all of these different measures we've put in place. But the folks that are suing are saying it's included, but not just the content, more than just like the very nature of these platforms are meant to be addictive. And that is like fucking the kids up. And they're using the argument that the healthcare systems used in the past around tobacco, like the very nature of tobacco is addictive. And so the very design of these platforms is addictive, and standing on that. And hopefully that stands up in court, although many people don't think that it will. But if it like raises more awareness and actually does pass, if they have really good lawyers or defense of this, I think that's pretty powerful. The fact, just the rise of child anxiety and suicide and the correlation with social media is something to consider. So hopefully they take it seriously. And I'm going to pay attention to this, because
why wouldn't it hold up in court? If it's proven, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not? If it worked with the tobacco industry, that was another $1 billion industry, it's proven that this is made
to be
addictive. I mean, and that it's dangerous. Well, I get, maybe that's the thing. Is it dangerous and harmful?
If they can prove that the addiction has harmful consequences. Like tobacco is obvious. You addicted. You look at this is a healthy lung. This is the lung of somebody who smoked.
That makes me think about awful thing. Did you see that?
But I think, what?
Did you see that one clip on Black Twitter? Do you follow Black Twitter on Instagram? Where that woman was like, if I would have known.
Yes. Oh my God. And then the kid was like,
for people who don't know, all right, that has to go. She was like, if
terrible.
I would have known about cigarettes, I wouldn't have a smoke. And the little baby who was watching it didn't know what to do. Watching it, he just started going.
He sounded just like her.
This little brown boy, he was so cute. Anyway, off the subject, keep going.
But I think, and it has been proven, I don't know the data by heart, but the addictive nature of social media actually does affect our brain.
It
does do something to the brain, and that's
you know who knows that? Dr. Huberman. I can't wait to get into him. Not like that's on it, but I can't wait to really get the way
that your boy, your motivation boy?
I love him. Yeah. Oh. He talks about social media, and there's a great clip on it. So maybe that'll be next week's thing.
Well, I think there's a huge claim here, and I hope the defense, or rather, who's in defense? The
prosecution?
Yes. I hope the Seattle
school district.
Yeah. Have good lawyers to go up against this. China said, get somebody else to do it. China went from the most strict no COVID campaign and measures and surveillance, and some places they were locking folks in their homes. They had people protesting, very, very strict COVID precautions, to we outside and y'all just we're gonna have to just let this go through you. Like, we having chickenpox party, basically. Like, get together, let it run through you. We'll recover soon. It'll give us like 2 months, and everything who needs to die will die. Who got a little fever, they just gonna have a little T fever and carry on, which is wild because everybody, all of the political like analysts or whoever, are trying to figure out why this sudden. I know it has to do with the economy, but also like, what? 0 to 100.
I haven't done enough research on this, but I feel like my hope is that it has a little something to do with the protests. I want the people to have a little bit of a win in this, because they were protesting their asses off. And protesting in China is not the same as protesting in the US of A. Okay, we think we got it bad.
Are they winning because the hospitals are inundated? People aren't getting they don't have oxygen. It's like the healthcare, again, couldn't handle this type of pressure. Like, people are not well.
In China.
Say that again?
Why is this happening again in China? Like, why is it like
they have a bajillion people.
I know.
And the government, I don't know. That's what everybody's trying to figure out.
I don't know. Well, that's the question. It's like, you got people out here protesting, saying, you can't lock me up in my goddamn house, which I agree with. That was crazy when I saw the footage coming out of there. But then, now they like, okay, be outside. And now people are struggling. Swings. So it's, that pendulum.
All that money and the precaution, I don't know. Anyway, listen, China, y'all gonna be okay, and it's wild. Everybody's watching. The streets are watching.
Ciao. In other news, Joseph Robinette Biden has some scandals, child. I brought this up last week a little bit, but his classified documents, it's just getting worse and worse, and it's just not a good look.
What is it? What is it? I guess we can't know, huh?
Well, a bunch of classified documents. No, we don't know what the documents are, and we shouldn't know what they are because they're classified. But a couple of things here. A lot of people are drawing the conclusion and the comparison, rather, to him and Trumpito. Sean King, who we are friendly. We were online with a bit of a back and forth about this because, Sean King is not a fan of Joseph Robinette Biden. We all know that. He's also not a fan of Trump, but he is a huge fan of Bernie Sanders. And he's going to jump at the opportunity to point out what he feels is the hypocrisy between the energy that we had for Trump versus the energy that we're having for Biden. So here's the deal. I need to set some things straight, is that there is no log of presidential documents. So there's no way to really track what's missing unless it's of like the greatest of importance, which is what happened with Trump. So basically what they're saying is Trump's documents that he took, that he was subpoenaed to give back, that he fought about giving back for a month, were of the level of great importance that they were tracked and that it was clear that they were missing. They also found hundreds of documents at Mar-a-Lago. Okay. And Trump was intentionally hiding them and holding them from the justice system, right? Biden's team uncovered a handful of documents and self-reported, but they did not make it public, which is why it's tricky, because the timing of this, now that we're learning, the timing that these documents were discovered were right before the midterm elections. So they're not about to be like, oh, yo, we got some classified documents over here too. Let's fuck up the midterm elections for ourselves. They kept it on the hush. They did self-report, but then it comes out that more documents were found. And then more documents were found, still not totaling anywhere close to hundreds, but still there is an issue here. The White House has appointed a special counsel. I would like to point out that this special counsel that was appointed is a registered Republican appointed by former President Trump. And they did that specifically so that it did not seem that there was any fishy business here. He wants to say, I'm being as bipartisan as possible. And, you know, please investigate so that we can get to the bottom of this. The other thing is to be clear that Biden said he didn't know that these documents were even in his possession. Apparently, he was moving off offices while he was the vice president. And in my humble opinion, it would be very surprising if he was moving his own documents as the vice president. Most likely, this is a staff error. This is not a Joseph Robinette Biden was taking these documents and flushing them down the toilet like Trump. So it might not have been intentional, but it is absolutely negligent. And so I do think that he deserves some scrutiny on this, quite a bit of it. I do think that the timeline around when it was made public is unfortunate, because it was obvious that they definitely didn't want this to come out because it would have affected the midterms. But also that's politics. So my question is, like, are Dems and like the left-wing media, are they not keeping that same energy for Biden? Are they wrong? Are they like sugarcoating this? Should there be more energy around it? Because right now the Republicans are going ham and saying all kinds of crazy shit. But what's let me be clear about crazy shit. They're saying that he should be investigated. He's corrupt. They're talking about how negligent this is. And they are not keeping that same energy for Trump either, when Trump was even more egregious, in my humble opinion. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a bad look for any of the parties to outwardly, publicly, and continually condemn their the person that's on the same political side as them. I don't think any, it would be stupid for the Republicans to do that with Trump. It would be dumb for the Democrats and the left-wing media to do the same thing, just out of politics.
But
do they deserve the same energy? Absolutely. I think they deserve the same energy.
Oh, I don't.
I don't think it should be. I don't think that I don't know if the amount of documents is as important as what the quality of the documents are. They're both classified. It could be just one page with some really crazy shit on it, and it could be 35,000 pages of gibberish.
Well, that's the point. That was my point in the beginning, is that they didn't even, for Biden, they didn't even know these documents were missing because they are not of great importance. Well, they knew Trump's documents were missing.
Like it's
yes, but there's levels to, yes, of course. There's levels to the classification, is all I want to point out, is that the documents Trump took were of the importance that they knew that shit was missing, and they asked for it back immediately.
I just wouldn't put it past Biden to, just say like, oh, oops, I didn't know that. I didn't mean it. Like, do we? We don't know. It's the same act here, and why one person is automatically like, he did it on purpose, he was holding a thing, and the other person is like, well, he could have done it by accident. I just think is not. It doesn't. It's not.
I think he did it on purpose, and he was withholding is valid for Trump because he wouldn't return them even after being subpoenaed.
Yeah, but
so it's like it's not the same completely.
I don't know. Biden said, "Oops, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't do that." It's even more if he did do it intentionally and then he's lying about it. It's even more.
He didn't have to report this. Is my point. He could have just flushed them down the toilet or burned them. Yeah, no one knew they were missing. He self-reported. That's all. I just want to point that out. That's it.
Still, I mean, it could be even more like, yo, we have these. I don't know. I don't know if he's automatically like, why should he? Why does he get the benefit of the doubt that this wasn't
because he self-reported?
You can self-report and still be lying. Like that's part of your strategy. That's part of what I'm doing is to make it seem like I'm less, it was less intentional. So let's hurry up and self-report this. It doesn't seem like a far-fetched strategy.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm self-reporting things that nobody even knows are missing. I feel you though. I think my disappointment around this with Biden is his one. He can't talk about it, right? He's under investigation, so you're not going to get a lot of answers. How he's handled it isn't the best. I wish that he and the White House would have just said, listen, I came for Trump about this, and the fact that we made the same mistakes is embarrassing. My team and I were careless, and we need to review, most importantly, we need to review the process that safeguards these classified documents, because obviously it's faulty. Like,
look at these papers just flying around.
They just flying around, child.
I don't have any papers.
They got all the papers.
They're all in a cloud somewhere, or like.
Well, what? Then you have cyber. You got like cyber warfare. So some stuff I don't think will go in a cloud. Some stuff might only be in a box, locked up, whatever the fuck. So who knows? We don't know.
Sounds crazy.
I hope the nuclear codes aren't on anybody's fucking server. I hope they're just physically somewhere tucked away and coded in in a safe. But I don't know. I get it. I really do. Next up, and I want to go through this really quickly. I just want to say the appointments for the Republicans within the House of Representatives, now that we talked about Kevin McCarthy last week. He is the Speaker of the House, and he has now appointed these crazy-ass people to the most interesting committees. Marjorie Taylor Greene is on Homeland Security. Homeland Security is the committee which protects the American people from terrorist attacks. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a proven conspiracy theorist. She is one of the folks that was like, stop the steal. She said 9/11 was not real and suggested school shootings were a hoax in the efforts to attack the NRA. So she's on that committee, which is concerning. Paul Gosar, he is on the Natural Resource Committee. He is a proven anti-Semitic. Republicans even removed him from being a speaker at the Republican National Convention as a result of his anti-Semitism. He also shared a video of AOC being killed on Twitter. This was a animation that he shared. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Paul Gosar, and Lauren Boebert. They are all, stop the steal, folks. They are all also on the Oversight Committee. And they're all election deniers, giving oversight on how the House should run. Wild. Now, joining the Small Business Committee is our favorite fraud, our favorite con man, the original god, George Santos. Let me just run through some of the shit, because I really got to get into this. It's wild. And this is only a handful of things. He said his mother died on 9/11. Documents show that she was not only not dead at the time, but she was in Brazil and never worked in the Twin Towers. She died years later from cancer. He said he was a volleyball star. George Santos was, he said that he was a volleyball star and graduated from Baruch College. And he never even went to the school. So not only were you not a star there, you didn't attend the school. He said that he worked at Goldman Sachs and Citibank. He didn't. He worked at a firm called Harbor City, which the Securities and Exchange Commission accused of running a Ponzi scheme. And that place was literally shut down. He has admitted to crimes in Brazil. In 2008, he was charged with fraud by the Brazilian prosecutors for stealing the checkbook of a man his mother was working for.
This nigga, I swear he's the young black kid that got...
Girl, he's the original.
He's a con.
Yes.
Why is he...
Listen to me. I'll tell you why he's still in the house. Working for... So he spent nearly $700 from this man. And then he moved to the United States and reportedly stopped responding to the Brazilian authorities. Brazil has mentioned that they plan on extraditing him and charging him.
For that, but get that man his bread back.
Listen,
that's right.
He said that he was mugged on the way to delivering a rent check. He has claimed this in a sworn statement, but that mugging, and then he said this happened in Queens. Shockingly, there is no record of this happening. And then he has this magical number of 199.9. Now, 199.9 is exactly the increment that you can spend without having to show receipts of campaign money. So he has 37 different campaign expenditures filed with the Federal Election Commission. And basically, what's really interesting is that there is an Italian restaurant where he spent a whopping $25,640.26 in campaign funds, all in $199.9 increments on at least 7 occasions. This restaurant is owned by the brother of a man who pled guilty to human trafficking, smuggling.
This nigga's a fucking criminal.
Is a criminal. Thug. He also scammed a homeless veteran out of money. Yeah.
He's killing it.
Oh, scammed a homeless veteran out of money that he raised for his dying dog, never gave him the money. He also said that he had 4 employees die in the Pulse shooting in Orlando, and none of the 49 victims have ever worked for any of the companies that he's claimed to work for. And he also hired an impersonator to, at the time, impersonate Minority Speaker Kevin McCarthy. This was when he was running, to call rich donors and pretend to be said Kevin McCarthy to help raise money. McCarthy's lawyers have acknowledged this, and they said, when this issue came to our attention last year, I raised it with the Santos campaign, and I felt it was resolved to our satisfaction. This man is in the House of Representatives, and he will most likely remain in the House of Representatives. You want to know why? Because the slim majority that they have. If his seat is given up, it's not like they can just appoint another Republican. That's not how it works. It goes to a runoff vote.
Any kind of fine print of this nigga be like, if the person murdered, like if someone was convicted of murder, what
apparently
if somebody's
not.
What? What's wrong with us?
Well, you got an oversight committee. Maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene will fix it for us. Who knows? What a shit show. I think that people just assume that this type of person would never be elected.
No, these are politicians. They have to know that this is possible.
What's more upsetting to me is that all of this information was public information and the media did not run with it. They didn't cover it.
Oh my God.
This is public information. That the person that he was running against put this out. Like, this was in the papers, but he couldn't get folks to pick it up. So, like, what are we doing here? I don't know. This is a failure on everybody's end, but that dude is wild. So when Paul McCartney, I can't stand myself. When Kevin McCarthy comes out and starts talking shit about Joseph Robinette Biden and his classified documents that he listen, and you're sitting, he self-reported this, but you are sitting here putting this joker on the small business, like you're putting him on the business committee, and he is accused of business fraud.
I thought he was doing some like tax thing. I was like, internet, next time we go out, make sure the receipt is 199.99 to avoid tax shit.
Oh my God. So
that
you're
is
a
terrible.
Scammer too. But shout out to the original scammer that he is not well. He is the definition.
He's
of not
literally
well.
Unwell.
Yeah, he's not well. And that's just like skimming the
lied
surface
on your
of his
mama,
life.
first of all, and said she was killed in 9/11.
I
Well,
would
the
like-
other bitch said never happened.
I would like to say that is a Curb Your Enthusiasm plot.
It is.
Someone said
is a Curb.
He said that. Remember, he was like, "Oh, she died on 9/11." He was like, "Oh my god, what tower was she in?" And he was like, "Oh no, she was hit by a car uptown. Same date." And it was like, "Excuse me." This can't be reality, but it is indeed the reality we are living in. So we thought, now let's segue into pop culture real quick. This is not on the timeline or on the outline, but Carol Baskin, we all owe her an apology. The original scammer
we had on Carol Baskin.
We said she was killing her husband, and I still think that he might be dead.
Animals and taking care of them and being kind and gentle.
No,
loving cats.
Something still ain't right over there. It's some kind of
she's on the
happening.
spectrum.
Y'all, they found Carol's husband. They found him in Brazil, y'all. Everybody in Brazil. His mama was in Brazil too.
She's like, I'm good. She's like, no, I'm Brazil.
No, she died. She did die from cancer. God rest her soul. That poor woman. But I just want to say that CNN
is
has
this nigga
reported.
Brazilian? Like, is he?
No, he said he was Jewish, and then he said, he did. But then he said, no, I'm not Jewish. I'm Jew-ish, like ish.
Like
I swear to God. Yes, that's what he said. He's like, no. I think that he talked about the same way Gwen Stefani said she was Japanese.
She's Japanese.
I think
Girl, I'm Japanese. The way I be wearing
you Indian
Harajuku clothes, I'm Indian. The way I be chanting when ghosts come through.
I don't know if I'm Dominican or Puerto Rican. But
You're
I'm
Nigerian.
And I actually am Nigerian.
Oh, my apologies.
You are a hater. I got my African ancestry done. You're a bad woman here. Thank you. Thank you. You're a hater. Get us
also
into pop
culture. The city of Boston unveiled the new memorial sculpture in the honor of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott last Friday. Child. Listen, I be poking in on Twitter every now and then. I'm learning things on Twitter. I'm slowly just researching.
Don't you lie to the people.
I am.
They are writing you on there.
I'm not posting anything, but I'm watching. I'm looking at things. I'm observing. But the way... Listen, I thought it was just black people were insulting and coming at this sculpture. It was everybody, apparently. Okay? Black people don't take nothing serious and have shared the meme of baby boy Jody and Melvin fighting. All you see is this mahogany ass, sweaty ass skin all balled up on each other. But also the intellectuals as well as the King family have words to say about this piece, saying, for such a large statue, dismembering MLK and Coretta Scott King is a choice, a deliberate one. Boston's embrace statue perfectly resonates how white America loves to butcher MLK, cherry-picking quotes about love and violence while ignoring this radicalism, anti-capitalism, his fierce critiques of white moderates. MLK in his fullness is still too much for them. I was like, go ahead, Dr. Umar. Went off. Now, another person has said, I can't shake the feeling that the view of the embrace sculpture from this angle looks like two disembodied arms and hands hugging a butt. Why do MLK monuments have to be so bad? And when that person said that, and I went and I looked at it, the way I screamed.
It looks like a penis, too, from another angle. Have you seen that one? Yeah, it's unfortunate.
In a scathing online essay, Coretta Scott King's first cousin,
not your cousin,
Seneca Scott, said, for my family, it's rather insulting. $10 million were wasted to create a masturbatory metal homage to my legendary family members. Keep my name out your mouth and put some respect on our names. Now, I originally looked at, like, you have to look at it. When I looked at it, I was like, what in the? But then when you look clearly, the hands, the actual sculpture of the hands are really beautiful. Like the form of them, there's rings, the details. It's really gorgeous. But together, I feel really sorry for the artist, Hank Willis Thomas. And
Hank Willis Thomas. Why you changed that man's name?
I said it. Hank Willis Thomas.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
The embarrassment, the pain, like that's your artwork. The family don't even fuck with it. It's a laughing stock. Like,
I have a friend who saw it, and they said it's actually beautiful in person. They just say that.
The hands look beautiful.
Look at Hank. Hank is a handsome man too.
Cute. He look like a milk dud.
He is.
Like somebody you might wink your eye at, smile at it.
I think in person, ooh, that does look like a penis. As soon as I Googled it, it looks like a penis with a curve in it. It's lovely. But I maybe it didn't read. I don't know why we're also such raggedy people that we would just.
But everybody's
not even give it a chance.
It's not just us.
And I also just feel like maybe I don't know. Come on. I don't know. Are we really dismembering him? And
yeah, it's like,
I don't know if we're doing all that. I don't know if that man meant to do that. I think that he was trying to show the embrace, and the embrace is from when Martin won the Nobel Peace Prize, and it's an iconic picture of him and his wife. It just didn't read, I guess, but I do feel sorry for that man. I don't know what to say about this. I didn't see it. I've seen the pictures now, but also you can take pictures from so many different angles and make things look different. So again, the people that I know, it's only one person who saw it in person, said it was beautiful.
Someone else who saw it in person that I don't know, but I saw what they said on Instagram, said it was really pretty. And again, the hands, the details, are really gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. It's all of it together. It's the shoulders and the elbows and the way it's sitting on the ground that is making folks feel uncomfortable, to say the least, if not overwhelmed with rage. It's given all the feelings, which art should do. So shout out to Hank. You did your job. You did your job.
Now, if you Google Hank Willis Thomas and you go to his website, you get the first thing on his page is that monument, and you can see that you can see it from the correct angle, and it does look pretty. Poor thing.
I don't know about
prayers
pretty,
to Hank.
But
I feel bad. That's his name. Do you want to do this next topic? Did you see my note? Okay. Go ahead. You got it.
Seems like Lori Harvey is drawing all the admiration. She recently just celebrated her birthday after her debut with Damson Idris. How do you say his name?
Damson Idris.
Wow.
Idris.
With Damson Idris. And Lori,
Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't have no problem with this girl.
Sweat. She don't break a sweat. She don't have a hair out of place. She's unbothered, composed, slightly interested in Damson. Slightly. While this nigga looks like he wants to eat her alive. He looks like, what the fuck
how did I do this?
How did I do this? They look mismatched in the energy, the way that he is like, and she's like, nigga, you coming too fast. Like, relax. Just take deep breaths. Like, just chill. When I see his energy, it makes them look the matching is interesting to me. Now, I don't really care about the other nigga at all.
Who?
But what is his name? You know,
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, the one who like Steve Harvey. He played a little bit cool. His energy, looked like he really enjoyed her. But I don't know, something about them felt different. Whereas he looks like a child in a candy shop. He's geeking out. Like, he is so happy, and rightfully so.
I love that. I love that for them. I don't know that girl, but I am a fan of his. I do watch Snowfall. And remember, I called you about him. I said, there's this little boy.
You did. You
on Snowfall. There's an energy there now. He is something. And he's just a really great actor. He's beautiful on there. He really is. Listen, I feel like Lori, and I said this on See the Thing Is, I really like how Lori's doing it. Lori is doing it sexually safe way. Lori said, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to be outside, but I'm going to go one at a time so I know exactly what's going on.
She's
for the most part.
Monogamous.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's like she's dating. She's like, I'm going to date one person at a time. And I love that for her. She's probably really getting to know folks. She's probably able to do all kinds of the things sexually that you can't do if you're outside with a whole bunch of different people, you know? And she's 26 years old. Have fun, girlfriend. Like, I love it for her. She's starting to speak more. We didn't even know what that girl sounded like before. And now she's speaking more. She's doing interviews. She has her own company. I feel like she's coming into her own in a way. And she collecting these fine ass black men like it's nothing. And I love it. Good. And he looks like he's loving it. He's
going to
posting,
jump out of his skin.
I know.
Explode any minute.
He's posting stuff, like he's having fun with it too. Like he posted somebody put them in traditional African wedding attire, and he posted it and like had some kind of, forgive me, my Yoruba is not where it should be. I didn't understand what he said. And I think he might be, I don't know if he's actually Nigerian. And if he is, he looked like he's Igbo, but regardless, that's a handsome young man. That's a beautiful young woman. Do your thing. I love to see it, kids. I love it.
I also understand Lori's, what's her name? Yeah, Lori. Girl, when I searched this, I put Tori Harvey in. I said,
that's okay.
Not her name. But she's a Capricorn, and she has similar. It's not quite there, but she has the coolness that Capricorn women are notorious for, such as Aaliyah and Sade. Sade being the highest of the ranking cool Capricorns, but there is this like
collected. You said it, composed.
Yeah, effortlessness. That's just like, nigga, what? I'm here.
I love it. She's Lori Harvey is teaching me at my 35-year-old age. That little 26-year-old is showing me some things, and good for her.
What is it you're the prize?
I don't know if I like that.
I'm the prize.
Everybody's the prize.
Yeah, what?
Like, why is the damn son a prize? Like, why can't a man be a prize? I know.
Myself first.
That's that think like a man shit. I'm more so talking about just the way that she's moving and being unbothered and not addressing it. I don't have to address everything that people say about me. I just have to live my life and enjoy myself and be fabulous while I do it.
You're just fabulous. Eating 3 calories a day, 300 calories a day.
Eating cucumbers and then chugging apple cider vinegar. I love that for her.
You know who needs apple cider vinegar?
Oh.
I saw that video on Twitter.
What video?
This nigga is in Australia, big as hell, buff as hell. He looks physically good. He doesn't look haggard. You know how Busta Rhymes is big, but he doesn't look well? Like he looks like he's sick. Even Dave Chappelle like has his bulk, but they like have this unwellness in their face.
Alcoholism, it seems.
Girl. But they're like big. They think like this working out buff thing is masking something. And Nelly, I didn't see it in his eyes, but I also could not focus on his eyes because they were literally
you didn't see his eyes?
Rolling around his head. He could not.
He was geeking.
I said, what? This nigga is zooted or in ecstasy? He's like evolved, having like a static spiritual moment, singing his song, or he's high as fuck. Will we ever know?
I think it's interesting. When I saw it, the first thing I thought about was, I saw it and was shocked to see him looking like that. But I also just thought like, damn, that shit is so prevalent in that world. Like people just really out here doing drugs, like really doing drugs.
And getting like, up and performing.
Yes, not like having a journey and doing ayahuasca and trying to get to the root of things. They're doing drugs to like be fucking zooted and booted. He was outside of his mind. And why wouldn't he? I wonder what he thinks seeing that video.
Ain't skip a beat.
He was probably skipping beats now. That clip was short. I can't imagine what that show was like.
He was he was in ecstasy. He was feeling every single rhythmic motion he felt. He felt and saw everything. He was seeing everything in that moment that there was
Or he was seeing nothing because he wasn't even seeing himself.
He was not what I said. This is making me uncomfortable.
So
Nelly,
what do they do? Like, are they? Is somebody
something.
gonna help him? Should
Nelly.
somebody be like, yo, you all right? I have a friend that dealt with him, and she said that he was definitely on drugs.
Not you putting on the street. Damn.
But like managing it, functioning, but like absolutely on drugs.
Well,
but also, she could be lying. I don't want to spread nothing. Allegedly, I don't want to spread nothing.
You better put that side note.
But it's again, it's less about him and more about the culture. Like I think that I am tripping. I always, even though I hear Percocet, Molly Percocet, that just wasn't a real thing within our Black community.
What?
I didn't think. I thought like
in your culture of.
I'm realizing how many friends of mine, like regular Black folks, are doing coke too.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
For real?
People do drugs, internet.
I didn't know that. I thought they just smoke weed.
No, they smoke weed, do drugs, pop pills.
Pop pills.
I know people that do Adderall, like get up doing some Adderall and like in the name of productivity. Maybe I need to do Adderall tomorrow.
No, maybe that's the name of the episode. Maybe I need to do Adderall tomorrow. There it is. I was waiting for you to say some shit that popped out, and you said it. Maybe. Well, I don't know. What's the through line of this episode?
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Santos, that nigga is on drugs. You know he's doing drugs. You know Lori Harvey is a drug to these niggas.
Oh.
The way he is cutting up and looking at her, he is cute fucking, what's that Justin Timberlake song? Sweet Bubblegum, some shit like that.
Strawberry Bubblegum?
Off. Is into it. Yeah,
wow.
So don't do drugs. Social media.
Drug.
Don't do it. Reconsider.
You might be doing drugs when that ghost comes to see you. It might not be a ghost. It could just be.
I am not doing drugs. I don't appreciate the.
But it might be that microdose from Kimbology. Shout out to her.
Nope. I haven't been doing that. It might be just a drug of the natural sorrow. Sorrow can be a drug. So.
Sorrow can be a drug. You can get addicted to struggle and pain.
Talk about it.
Dr. Huberman talks about that, and we will discuss it soon enough in the next episode of Around the Way Curls.
We will see you next week. Thank you for listening.
Bye. Ooh, them through lines be stressing me. I'm like, maybe that's a bad way to do it. I was sitting there like, you booked it in. All right, ready?